So this is Iron Phoenix round 3, which is myself playing Dark Elves at 1220 TV versus a Dark Elf mirror match. So we'll just quickly look at the two teams, very quickly because I know my opponent is waiting. I've gone for 2 rerolls and an Apothecary with 11 players. I've got a leader, so I've got the third reroll there. 3 blitzers or dodge, 2 Witch Elves, both wrestle. My opponent has gone for something slightly different. He's gone for 4 blitzers, 2 tackle, and he's got 2 dodge. He's got a runner with no skills, and he's gone for 2 Witch Elves, both wrestle. He's not got an Apothecary, and he's only got 2 rerolls, not 3. But he does have an extra fun factor. So we'll be looking to try and remove the tackle players as early as possible, and he'll be looking to utilise the 2 tackle players and put as much pain on us as possible. LL Trigo, as soon as this game's done, sir, if you've got a mic, I'd love to talk to you if you'd like to talk on Discord. Cornflakes and Milk says the chair is the backbone of the stream. Yes. Oh God. Should we have a streaming chair? If you'd like to. No pressure, by the way. I just think it might be easier to talk as opposed to type. Oh, my opponent's disappeared, look. And he gets lonely easily. Oh. Oops. There we go, we're in. So, no, there's no inducements in this game. Chair stream 2018. To be honest, the chair really is an unsung hero of this stream. It's been there, it's omnipresent in fact. That's really crunchy, isn't it? It's probably a bad thing to eat on a stream. Oh dear. No, Astrotor, this one. This one was a skill pack on the top of a roster. So I'm pretty sure it was six skills. Yeah, it was 1100 TV plus 6 skills. So this is probably the closest to a true NAF style event team as you'd see, if I'm honest. Steak. What are we eating? We've got bacon frazzles, Tesco version, which in the UK Tesco's obviously dying out now. What with the announcements of other supermarkets buying one another. Right, do you want to kick or receive? Well, in a mirror match, I always want to receive because you've got a chance of doing damage. Add to that, he's also not got an Apothecary. Okay, so he's got 6, 7 plus 8. Oh shit! Oh no, it's just plus 1. There we go. Did the Dwarves manage to do it? Yes, they did. Valhopia, we did indeed get there. Cynical energy. Cynical, why do I recognise you, by the way? Is there something... Are you a streamer? I'm sure that there's just something about you. What it is. Chair, take over. I've just got to step away for a second. And the chair takes over. Why didn't he get an assassin instead of a Lino plus 2 fan factor? I don't know, Astray. They told a story about a woman who found a used condom in a kale packet. Oh yeah. Is the crunching seriously super annoying, by the way? I'm just curious. Right, is it tolerable? I'm very hungry. Okay, you do stream. Cool. Now, it can be argued here that our opponent is giving away 1, 2, knock. So we're going to use wrestle to push you to there. That block follows there, and then the witch elf runs across. In which case you're not needed. In which case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you do the follow and the follow, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, we can hit the runner. Just make that as difficult as possible for this fucking witch elf to come through and be annoying. So, there we go. So he got 3 reroll, so we're both up to 3 rerolls, so actually he's alright there. Oh shit, that is a kick. Have I got a problem? Well, she's there, and because the witch elf is there, I've got a problem, haven't I? Shit. Let's see if he chooses to dodge. He does. Do I carry this on? Fuck. Yeah, the correct answer is no, I don't. That's annoying. And he didn't think this through. He didn't know. It is still doable. It's a 3+ dodge to carry on. Okay, so our opponent decides to not use dodge there. Rightly so, I would say. So that was a very disappointing turn. Very disappointing turn. Oh well. Noob, was there a better way of doing that, was there? Fair enough. I was asked, is this a high TV team for me? No, this is a low TV team. Sorry about the crunchy, I'm just going to finish eating these really quickly. There we go. Dark Elves aren't a passing team. No, Dark Elves are a control team. Yes, he is Astrator. Foul and surf things. Oh no. No. Fouling at this stage would be a high variance manoeuvre. Oh, we've got biscuits. Wonder if Domino's deliver. Can't be a control team without disturbing presence. It's an interesting thought. BZL, why do you think disturbing presence is the thing that means that they're a control team? And no, Frank, there is no tackle. You don't run a Dark Elf team with tackle typically. Shame I can't fill that square in. It's a joke with how people call Nurgle a control team rather than a kill team. I think you guys are exposed far more than possibly is healthy to just kill Nurgle teams. And Nurgle weren't, in theory, sort of designed to be a kill team. got to hit that really, haven't I? If I don't hit that, I've only got myself to blame. Yeah. Right, okay. So I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna dodge away from this lineman. So, first things first. Let's build the cage. Where's his tackle? There and there. So she's fine being there. Probably do actually need to do that with that player, really. Yeah. Yeah, we do, don't we? Because otherwise the Witch Elf gets pushed forward and then she gets hit by tackle. So in this instance, we're going to hit. We're going to do it with that guy. No break. Well. You across. Take the 2 dice there. And the reason you put this lineman here is because it's impossible to surf it without ridiculous amounts of effort, but it means I've got an out. So if he attacks the cage, that guy is there specifically for surfing stuff. Why have you sent me something? Oh yeah, fair play. Cheers, noob. I was very concerned that because we'd used the reroll, that once you've used that reroll, you are committed. So I was trying to defend the ball a little bit, which is why I had to have that square and that square, because I have to have that square to stop. Because if I just own this square, you just get surfed. So there, and there were all 3 squares sort of required. Okay, so the blitz is going to be on a lineman. At this stage, I think if you were playing as Thessa, you'd be quite pleased with the way things are going. You have got me contained, and everything's fine. Which is also a little unusual, because if you're me, I'm also fine with the way things are going, because I'm in no rush to do anything different. Which is an odd state of affairs. It's like if I could just press end turn 3 turns, and he pressed end turn for 3 turns, I think we'd both be basically fine. Quite tempted to just go after that Witch Elf, you know. I can put a lot of blocks into it. Yeah, I think we just go after the Witch Elf. Because I can put a shitload of blocks into it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Let me get more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got to come from there, otherwise that's a go for it. Which is there. Let's have that square. Maybe I could. Probably could actually. You know what? Alright, we're going to go after the Witch Elf. I'm going to go after the greedy version of going after the Witch Elf. So if we're going to do the greedy version, we need to move the cage. So cage gets moved there. And then if this goes wrong, it doesn't matter as much. Obviously. Yeah, that's disappointing. Okay, so we didn't get a removal. Did get the break. Only got the break because she was armor 8, armor 7. Covering the runner. There we go. That's annoying. Yeah, why not? Ladies and gentlemen, today's special guest and UKWBL all-round bigwig, I give you Bevan. Bevan, how are we? Bevan's clearly stepped away from his microphone after that insightful, delightful build-up.
I'm just back. Thank you very much, Andy.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is a low-tempo game. This one.
It is looking a little bit that way.
Mhm.
Just catching up with you in game.
Now, turn 4-5, I will actually now try and get the ball forward a little bit. Because this opponent's already set his stall out. What does he want to achieve? He wants to just stop me scoring. He's got no ambition in terms of trying to steal the ball. So, because you know what you're playing against now, let's try and get past him a little bit.
Are you a fan of mirror matches, Mr. Devo?
I think they just are. Dark Elf mirror matches are quite difficult. If your opponent's good. If your opponent's not very good, they're actually quite straightforward. But if your opponent's good, they are hard work. Bevan, where are you, Bevan? Bevan, where are you from?
From the UK, but been a long-term resident of Austria for some time now.
Right, well, he's left his runner exposed, so we'll have a go at that. And then we should be able to get a couple of positionals into his half to try and stretch the play out a little bit.
It's a little more compact than I'm used to seeing you playing.
Yes. Careful, that's what this is. Or generally.
Feeling the pressure of the game a little bit.
Which more movement she got? No, not so much. It's more that This is more much more akin to how I would play at a tabletop tournament. Much more. Because I'm much more careful generally at a tabletop tournament.
I guess the tabletop tournaments are much less forgiving for mistakes.
Oh, massively. If you lose it, yeah. If I lose at a tabletop tournament, I'm goosed. We have a problem. I've just left a fucking cage corner based. Fuck. Fuck. So, what's so different about tabletop? State Rage and Grace, the the thing with tabletop is you're playing for a tournament, and so you've got 6 games. If you want to win the thing, you've got to go 5 wins and a draw, 6 wins generally speaking. So you've got to do one or the other. You can't afford to lose. So people therefore play much more carefully and conservatively, generally speaking. It's not that they're just outright better, but yeah, that's the reasoning. Yeah, I don't have a reserve, so it was a little bit of a risky foul. I am trading. If he had an apothecary, that would be a really bad move, but he hasn't got one, so trading off. If I traded a line elf for a witch elf, dead sent off, that's fine. The odds are slightly in his favour for that. Casualty is 10 plus. What's that? 20? No, that's not 25%. That's 9 plus. What's a 10 plus? 3, 6, 6 in 36.
1 in 6.
Yeah, 1 in 6. 18% sending off is 1 in 3, 33%. So likely to get even odds, which is a removal and a KO or casualty plus sending off. KO's bad, casualty's good.
I guess the other big difference, which is the same as tabletop, is the use of the apothecary in these kind of tournaments.
Yes.
Actually using it for turning KOs into stuns.
Yeah. Right, we are going to have to absolutely kick into get down the field mode.
To be fair to your opponent, it's not the worst defence I've ever seen.
No, he's playing pretty solid, to be fair. I think in a mirror match there's 2 variations that you can go down. You can either go down the just be in the way and be bloody annoying defense, or you can go down the route of actively try and press the ball and try and steal. And what he's doing is he's going for variant 1, which is just be in the way and be bloody annoying. Nothing wrong with it. That's just what he's choosing to do.
I think he's also trying to tempt you into the 1-die block down the sideline, which could go horribly wrong, but is the obvious path through his defence.
Yep.
But it does smell of a trap.
So I'm going to spread out quite a chunk here. I want to resolve this cluster here. That's annoying. That's annoying. Fine.
I guess it's always the danger when you use the jump up for the block as opposed to just getting the max movement. Stuff like that happens.
Yep. So we'll go back and go for blitz this way now. So I'm going to try and split. This is where I now split the team up and go for different players and move around, because then at the moment he's finding it very easy to protect everything, because everything's nice and easily orderly, uniformed, and it's nice and easy for him. So we need to make that so it's not as straightforward and as easy.
That removal will certainly help.
Oh yes.
It gets surprisingly difficult to hold a decent defense once you start going one and then two players down, especially when you're up against something that's just as fast as you are. I guess that's the difference between offense and defense. That offense, you can make a mistake, it won't necessarily cost you, but defense, you make a mistake and usually you've just put a big hole that can be easily exploited. So he is going to have to be careful.
Yep. I want to move the ball onto a blodging movement 7 player as well this turn, ideally, because it makes it a lot easier to then gain and go up the field.
Well, I'm guessing it will be Lady Killjoy, but which Lady Killjoy is another matter. You appear to have two. Or in fact, a whole team of them.
Yes.
That makes it nice and easy to identify the players.
Yep.
I have the pleasure of playing Lady Killjoy tomorrow. OCC.
Right, and what to do with this blitzer? So I'm going to take. Let's take this 2 plus dodge. Right, we don't use dodge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go and be really annoying all the way over there, because that's again trying to. I've got a scoring threat. He's got to go and take a couple of players over there to deal with it. He's already a player down. I think that will work.
That was actually a very nice move. And not as low percentage as it initially looks.
No. I mean, as long as I wouldn't have been utterly devastated if he'd have failed that. 3 plus, 3 plus, 2 plus, or with an overall reroll. Disappointing if he'd not made it, but not the end of the world.
Well, he would still have to be guarded unless he took himself off the pitch from hitting the ground too hard. He would still have had to have taken up a couple of players to look after him. So even on the ground, he would have been doing the job. He's just doing a better job standing up.
Yes. God, I'd love to go after the tackle players. I really would like to go after those tackle players. So the blitz is going to be on my Roger. I think we'll see that next. What will he do? I don't know. Killjoy says he's not watching the chat. Who's not watching chat? Bevan, you're not watching the chat. Oh dear. How many monitors do you run with, by the way?
Just the one, so I have to flick between the two.
I'll watch the chat. It's easy. Because I'm running 2 monitors, so it's fine.
You multi-chat person. Or multi-monitor even. And hello there, Killjoy. Very much looking forward to playing you tomorrow. For a mirror match, this is a surprisingly engrossing game.
He's playing quite well.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that. I think he's a little out of position now, and although it looked as though it was potentially a good idea to go and cover your guy with 2 players, I think he was playing into your hands by doing that. Maybe he would have been better off just taking the 1 player and going covering your guy.
Yeah.
Because he's light now wherever he goes, especially once your Witch Elf is up next turn.
Well, she's going to run over to the guy who's been double marked and provide an assist, so I'll take a 1 dice at the end of the turn. The thing to do now is I can blitz the random lineman, which is in that little clump of 3, and then run through that gap.
It's just a shame that your block piece is down on the floor on that side, because it would have been ideal to do the blitz with that, because you're up against a skillless one pushing over to the other side, but that would now mean you'd have to do a dodge. With dodge, but...
Well, at the moment the ball is safe, so I can probably do this. Where can we get to? So you can go there. Cage is not quite going to be far enough forward. I'm going to take this blitz. I want to just get further forward because we are struggling for yardage.
Time is starting to get to a little bit of an issue now.
That sounds really annoying. Okay. Well, we didn't make it through. Fine. All is basically safe at this point.
Well, his next turn is a real bucket full of headaches. Because you have multiple threats now.
Yep.
I think the extra player in that cage is very smart, because at this point he may have been looking at taking the chance of going in the cage and trying to pop you. But that extra player...
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, the back is still vulnerable depending on what you do with your last player.
Just pondering if I want to make the double go for it, or just leave him where he is. He's actually in quite. We're on turn 6. You can just go there. That protects the back of the cage a bit more. Still all nicely spread out, which I quite like.
Yeah, the only problem, the back of that cage is weak, and if he wants to, he can go for attempting to pop the ball. I mean, it's suboptimal, but at this point he has to decide, can he actually defend you successfully in 2 turns with the players he has in position. It's going to be challenging. Well, he clearly thinks he can.
Sorry, stream. I'm just eating some crisps. I'm really sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Pathless Taken. I think somebody did comment before that I should be a golf commentator. Very nice, Henry Judas. Now, if I can only figure out how to get the classic cricket commentary of the bowlers holding the batsman's willy into the commentary, everything will be perfect.
Oh, this is naughty.
What are you referring to there, Andy?
He's about to try and surf the witch, which I did leave.
You did. I'm not sure it's the best play, personally. And okay, there's upside to it if you can get your witch out of the game, but it's going to leave a huge, huge hole that you can comfortably glide through and get the cage in the position where your ball carrier will be able to run it in without having to do anything spangly next turn.
Yep. On hole.
I mean, he's covered it a little bit with that move. I'd have liked that player to have gone another one forward. But, well, he's gone all in on this, re-rolling everything.
Don Kiton says, is there a strategy in this game which doesn't involve a cage? Yes, several.
I encourage you to watch my games. I very rarely cage these days. I think caging is the strategy of the past. Screening is the new cage.
Right, we can run through here.
So what is your vulnerable point you're targeting here, Andy? I'm guessing the skillless line elf.
Yes, correct.
In the centre. It's almost like I played this game before.
Yeah, although I'm not sure you're going to like this move.
As long as it involves you using your blitzer for the blitz, I'm going to be fine with that.
Yeah, it is. It's just which blitzer. Let's use this one. Let's not use the ball carrier.
I am perfectly content with that one because that's exactly what I would have done. State of Rage, a Victoria Sponge right now would be fantastic with a nice cup of tea, lemon and sugar.
fucking roll I was looking for.
That has left you a little exposed.
There we go. I should be alright. We're far enough forward, so it's only 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a square of lateral movement before I have to go through on the diagonal, so I can actually score in the entire end zone apart from the very last square on the left-hand side.
Yes, the problem you've got, if he is smart, he is going to knock your blitzer on the back corner of the cage with a 1 die, having taken out the assists, and then he has a 1 die onto your ball carrier. But he just stood up the guy that would have been sensible to do the blitz on the ball carrier with, so he clearly hadn't spotted it. But he has to do something here, because otherwise you are going to just waltz in for the touchdown, and I think it is time for a balls to the wall play. So maybe we will see the Witch Elf blitzing across the empty front corner of the cage, which is more than likely to actually get there. He's certainly taking out all the assists around, so my guess is this is his plan.
Yeah, it was a shame that my witch decided she wasn't going to play.
Yes. Yeah, that wasn't the best time for a pair of both downs. Now, unfortunately as well, because of the way the pieces are together, if he gets this witch through, he's going to get 2 1 dies, and then he's going to be able to hit you with his blodger as well.
Depends which one. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Because you have conveniently filled in all the squares for him.
Yep.
I like the fact he's taking his time here, because this is an important move and you have to be sure.
Ooh. Which team is strongest versus Dark Elves? Don, the question there is that the reason Dark Elves are very strong is because they don't have any particularly terrible matchups. They have quite a few okay matchups, but rarely struggle against any particularly.
Why has he gone that way?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
He's going to put me.
You set it up perfectly.
Well, he's going to put me in a cage of his players, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd have preferred to have had the extra dice on you. And to have you further backwards. So I guess now his runner's going to have to come round and provide some extra cover in behind. Drop in behind his Witch Elf and his Blitzer. Well, He's clearly worried about that flank.
Yeah, it's because almost everyone can get into scoring range, which is definitely worrisome from his point of view.
Well, worst comes to worst, he is going to make you roll a number of dice, which can always go wrong.
Whoosh. Go there. Throw that block.
At least for a mirror match here, we've got two teams in very different colour uniforms, which makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes, particularly with dark elves and high elves, it can get a little bit tricky telling the teams apart once they're all bunched up close like this. And Andy's going to have to do full thinking cap at the moment, so unsurprisingly, he's going to probably be a bit quiet this turn. And that's very nicely played. The only small problem that Andy now has a player in exactly the square he would like to dodge the ball carrier out into. But he has plenty of movement, so it's not such a big deal.
Stand you there.
What we will probably see here is Andy thinking whether he can move that lineman right at the back. I'm not sure he's got enough players to do it. And because it would be lovely to shove him away and then see the ball carrier come through, blitz with the ball carrier, knock the blodger out of the way and run in for the touchdown.
Why do I just blitz there?
But the pushing of the lineman would be a 1-die without skills, which is risky.
Yeah, what I was actually looking for in that last move was I was tempted to not take the knockdown on the Witch Elf. You can then hit the Witch Elf into the ball carrier, pushing the ball carrier forward a square. He then stands in front of his other Witch Elf, and I can just move him along. If this isn't a knockdown, this is bad. No.
Okay, well, knockdown there, so now relatively simple coming through.
There we go, we're in.
Nicely played, Andy.
Thanks. I do like the blue.
It's a gorgeous blue, isn't it?
It's a very nice blue.
Looks good on the cheerleaders as well. Well, he got his KO back, so this one is far from over.
Yes, it's as you were, effectively.
Yes. Now he does still have a reroll, and it's Dark Elf, so a good Dark Elf coach knows how to do the one-turner. but even knowing how to do it and doing it, that's two different things. Andy's going for the conservative defence, the player preservation defence.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see whether that works or not. Bevan, I don't know if you're aware, he hasn't got an apothecary, so any casualty is an auto removal. So I chose to receive on the basis that we might have been able to get a removal out of him, but we didn't.
I must admit, I'm a big fan of receiving in most situations, and simply for those reasons.
Sorry, schoolboy humour just kicked in for a second there. Mirror match receiving is definitely the way forward, I think. So we're about to see an attempt on a movement 7 one-turner. So we'll just count the squares backwards. So there's the two, go for it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it has to be there.
For those of you who haven't been playing the game quite so long, Dark Elves are one of the nicer teams for doing the one-turner that don't have a natural movement 8 or movement 9 player, simply because frenzy is a real boon for you when you're trying to do the one-turner. If you know what you're doing and where to set up the frenzy players. Andy is far better at this than I am. Andy, would you say that he is setting up correctly here, with particularly paying attention to where he's putting his witches?
It almost feels like he's not trying to do it, which is bizarre.
Well, I mean, if he wasn't, surely he wouldn't be bunching his players as he is. But he does need to pay a bit more attention to the recovery of the ball.
Father Krieg's not a fan of the whole one-turner technique. Oh, that's disappointing. Hello Zigd, welcome to the show. See, I would use the outside line elf on my side to try and push. What I would do here is you fill in the square behind my middle line elf, so you can then get to push where he's got his furthest, as I look at it, right line elf sideways, and you try and do it that way. The one square between the line elves makes chain pushing really difficult. If this was movement 8 or 9, it's a lot easier. This is not.
Would it be best to take his back lineman there, put it next on the left-hand side, allowing him to then blitz with the witch, and he could shove your middle lineman into the witch, and then in the witch obviously into the clear square afterwards, and then frenzy through?
Yep. Yeah, I'd have someone here. Alright, well he's committed, so let's see what happens. So he gets a high kick, so oops, that's not terrible for him. He's caught it. Let's see what his strategy is.
I'm not convinced he's set up right here for doing it. Well, let's see.
We'll never find out if he doesn't re-roll that. Okay, well he's got his push. He's got his push. He needs to bring the lineman at the back needs to stand behind the witch elf, so the frenzy witch elf can push into his blitzer and then push again. So he's got the first two pushes he needs.
But he can do that anyway. He doesn't need to fill, because when he shoves into your blitzer, into his blitzer will step back behind the Witch Elf, and then there's the free square is where he wants to push anyway.
No, because if you say move the blitzer across, put my line elf where his blitzer is, and the Witch Elf hitting from the side, he's hitting sideways, so my line elf goes backwards. So he's got to fill in the square behind the Witch Elf in the wide zone.
But his blitzer will fill in that square, the one that he's about to shove. The Witch Elf's about to shove your guy into.
Well, I thought you were going to try and one turn with that blitzer, so the blitzer will step forwards, not backwards.
That's true. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So I guess, yeah, he's got to use that blitzer on the far side, because that guy's now useless.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, there we go. Done. And from my point of view, that's very, very, very good, because now my other two line elves don't get hit. And that one didn't have an armor break. So, very good for me.
I think it also told you a little bit about your opponent, and you probably already knew it, that he knows what he's doing, but his movement off the ball there for setting up the next set of pushes by putting those guys further up was very, very good. So he clearly does know what he's doing. Someone in the chat there surprised at your formation for defending the one-turner there. I think the thing about that formation was, okay, it wasn't the best for absolutely stopping the one-turner, but it was a good balance of good against the one-turner and protecting your key players. If you went for one that was even better against protecting against the one-turner, you would have put players in a more vulnerable position. So
yes.
In this case, where you've got no bench, and I think that was a perfectly good compromise. But that's the nice thing about Blood Bowl. There's more than one way to skin the proverbial cat.
Funky Madge was away from it. Perfect defense. No, this was just me setting up. Because there's no guard, the Witch Elves, I can have them level because he can't hit them easily. So the two Witch Elves are basically safe unless he wants to take one dice on them. The player that's most at risk at the moment is the runner with leader, which is a shame, but I don't want to give away the sidelines.
Is the offset of the front line just to annoy people with OCD?
It's if a perfect D comes up, it helps. As you notice, his 5 are now not straight, so I've got a square I can go and stand in which won't get hit. I can put a bludger on the square on this diagonal here. Whoops. I'll highlight it in a second. So it'll be fine. Oh shit. Rock. Okay. Oh fuck. Right, well it's an apothecary for that. So, okay, that's annoying. Using the apothecary because having 11 on defense is probably a good idea.
I think one of the nice things about the World Cup and the format that it's brought is that the tabletop format, which effectively this is more of a test of skill than the Perpetual League. You could argue it's not as fun and certainly not as fluffy as Perpetual Leagues, but it is definitely more a test of skill because you're not gimped by a few unfortunate injuries because of the resurrection.
Completely agree with that. which is why the leagues that have got progression in the World Cup are really going to start struggling in the next couple of weeks as people go, oh look, I can't qualify, well fuck this then. And I think that's, if the rule set wasn't designed to be strenuous enough to deal with people who are inevitably going to drop out, then the rule set isn't as good as it should have been.
Yes, I'd completely agree there, and I think the World Cup brings something new, a different aspect to Blood Bowl, and just mirroring what we all do in the perpetual leagues anyway, and it just makes it another tournament with a funky prize at the end of it. Whereas this really has brought tabletop to the forefront of the PC game, which is a really nice thing. Sadly, my commitment to playing 2 leagues a week anyway meant I didn't really have the time to play it, so I haven't got to enjoy it myself. But it's certainly nice to come in and commentate on. Well, some very nice comments in the stream. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there is a surf available, which he's doing his utmost to try and defend.
Replay!
We'll see whether that happens. Oh, thank you very much for the sub on the YouTubes there. We are now 2/3 of the way there to getting partnered, which is incredible. Oh, Villy's here. He'll be furious with that.
Do you have enough spare brain power to explain about the whole partnership thing, or do you need to concentrate on this, Andy?
No, he's basically done with his turn. I can explain. It's get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Once you get there, you can then start earning money from YouTube. But to be honest, as I've then looked into it and worked out how much money you get from it, it's really not very much.
I guess it's not so much the size of the pennies, but the fact that there are pennies is the thing.
That's very true.
Replay!
Go chase that down. So just making sure I can't get surfed, because it's quite important that we don't get surfed. But at the same time, I like to go and put a bit of pressure on. That's the way I prefer playing.
I think it's one of those tactics that is often underused by newer players. Putting one man forward to go and put pressure on the ball forces the opponent to send a couple of players to go and deal with it. So now you've got ball carrier and 2 players dealing with your one going forward. That means in the other parts of the pitch, you've now got a 2-man advantage. And that can be absolutely critical. So just putting a credible threat going forwards can be a very, very solid defensive tactic. That was a fairly unfortunate time to do that. So reroll gets you out of it.
Oh, got one.
Oh,
And it's a big one. One of
yes,
bludgeon
that's
blitzers.
huge. That is huge. So now he's got a horrible headache because the blitzer that Andy's brought forward closest to the ball carrier is enough of a threat that right-hand side is becoming a little bit risky. But he can't go down the left-hand side because that's becoming even worse. So he's kind of getting a little bit funneled towards the middle unless he goes and commits with maybe the tackle piece and hopes like hell he can get that blodging blitzer down. If it fails, he's going to be so far out of position.
Oh, his opening move that he's just selected is telling me that he's going to blitz my Witch Elf with his tackle guy that's lying down, and he's going to put the ball probably a square or two behind the other tackle guy in the middle of the field. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to equalise up from the loss that he's just suffered by taking out my Witch Elf.
I'm not a huge fan of that as a tactic. I'd like to see him getting two players downfield at this point and forcing you to drop players to cover and have the pass as an option. I think if he stays tight here, the odds are not looking great for him. So you can see where he is staying so bunched up together. Okay, it makes it easier for him to set up a nice defense of the ball carrier, but it's allowing Andy to use all of his players to be able to go here. Whereas if he just got one player on either flank deep, he's forcing Andy to commit three, maybe even four players to go and defend that.
Yep. Hello, Homosap. Hello, Anarian. I think he's going to hand it off to the bludger this turn. That's what this setup is looking very much like, which is fine.
Hi there, Frank. Expecting more of the supportive tone you put in Prem West preview thread. See, I only give Andy a load of grief when it's Prem West, because Andy is the comedy villain of Prem West, and it's entertaining to write the fluff. When it comes down to matches like this, then I'm more likely to be genuinely supportive of him. But don't worry, if I'm around for a Prem West match, I will be back to ripping shreds off of him.
That's annoying. He's just equalised. That's annoying. It's just annoying. Well, I'm going to hit both of the tackle guys this turn.
So from a counter perspective, Andy, now he has got one guy deep. Are you going to commit two to the defence or just one?
I'm going to ignore it. Because I can go chase, put some pressure on the cage. Because then what happens is the cage goes wrong and he throws and scores. Okay, that's fine. I get the ball back halfway through the half. Or the two players that are not there defending the cage when they need to be. Both of which I'm broadly okay with.
So effectively, you'd be perfectly happy for him to score now.
Yep. Oh, Armor break. Come on. Oh, disappointing.
Do you think you'd have been equally happy to do this if you hadn't removed his blitzer?
If we'd got rid of it, if I'd still got the Witch Elf on, I'd do this, because once you get players up, it really makes a big difference. But by not being a player up, that's the problem. Because then he scores on turn 12, because I go chase him down. He wriggles free, I chase him down. He's going to just wriggle out of this. That comes over here.
Well, I guess you don't want to go and put too much pressure on the ball, otherwise he's going to be able to smuggle it out and not have to score. If you haven't got enough back.
Yep. That Witch Elf down, he's the one player, so the Witch Elf goes and marks the other guy that's down, and all of a sudden this is a complete game changer. Because at the moment his first move will probably be the guy that's completely on his own, goes and stands behind, 2 squares behind the blitzer that's lying down. He stands up and blitzes my lineman that's marking the ball carrier. He can smuggle everyone out.
Well, he can smuggle them out laterally. He can't really make much inroads going forwards.
Yeah. Path says, which player had more value in my opinion? I don't know. They're about the same. Witch probably, because there's only 2 Witch Elves, whereas the Blitzers there's 3 of them. So maybe the Witch Elf. There's not a lot in it though. The fact that his is injured and mine was KO'd is quite big. So if there's another drive, I've got the chance of getting back to 11. He hasn't. Raging Grace says he's hoping to win all 8 qualifiers, thus ensuring at least 1 game against himself. It's purely an ego thing. Well, busted.
I suspect, Andy, were you to ever play yourself, you would end up being annoyed that you lost rather than happy that you won.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Yes, something tragic would have gone on, wouldn't there?
Yeah, Nuffle wouldn't have liked you.
Yeah. Rex, is this public matchmaking or private league? 'Cause matchmaking, I'd go with it as quickly as possible.
Interesting here, he didn't take the option to go and shuffle right.
No, he's fighting.
Again, not overly convinced by this. But willing to put it on hold for now, given that he's demonstrated he is a good player. So maybe he's seeing something I'm not here. But I don't know. What do you think? I don't like the look of his position at the moment.
I tell you, a double one here flips the game on its head. That's what I'm not a fan of, because we haven't had a double one across both teams. Haven't had a double one yet. So there's one that's due. I know that's not quite how statistics work, but we are due one. And
we had a double skull.
Yeah, we've had a couple of double skulls. Yeah, that's true. He's going to have nowhere to put the ball. Look,
this was my concern about this position. Where exactly is he going to go that's safe from you? Because you've got some downed players in awkward positions here.
Yep. In a tabletop league, Rex, I'd go 12. The point of the extra players is to give you some redundancy if things start to go wrong. And if you're the highest TV, you're likely to be fouling against inducements, either bribes or wizards. So I think you probably want that redundancy. That's not a 1, that's a 6. Oh, skulls.
Ooh. You nearly got your double 1 in the right place.
Yeah. He's 2, 3, 4.
Well, he's down to 1 reroll now.
He has actually left me 2D on the ball. I need 3 go for it. For a 30% chance.
Yeah,
Yes.
with a blodger holding the ball, is the 3 go for it's worth the gamble? Given that you've forced him back at the moment. I mean, he's now in a worse position than he was a turn ago. Question is, can you press it? Or is it time to try and capitalise on it?
I really want to bring the Witch Elf across. If I'm going to do a ball sack, I probably want to use the Witch Elf. I am slightly mindful that he's still got 2 Witch Elves, so being surfed is a thing.
And it is one of your valuable players that's currently at risk of that.
What about push? Right, knock that out of the way. Take that block first. Push that there, push into him to there. If that's a knockdown, you go there. You then push here to there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's just a case of 2D.
Tricky position.
Yeah, I think that's the move. That's the play. Okay, right, well I know what I'm going to do. I've just talked about it without pressing push to talk, so I'm now going to try and do it with push to talk. Let's see if this works. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Afternoon there, Ceremon. There's a man who knows how to win with 1 player.
Dice are in the wrong order there. So what the rest of this play was, you then chain push into the lineman above the runner who comes sideways. I can then, if the other first block had been a knockdown, you can then chain push these guys out, but it wasn't.
Oh, that's a big injury though.
Yeah. However, that's quite a big injury.
I guess it's switching back to slightly more defensive mode for this turn.
Yes, it is now, yeah.
Consolidate that advantage. I'm actually still claiming an assist on your UK BBL win, Ceremon, because as you said yourself, the motivation of me predicting you to come 9th was a major factor in the victory. Had nothing to do with your absurd war dancer. Well, you're definitely producing one for the connoisseurs here, Andy.
Yeah.
A very tactical chess match.
Yeah. I took the pressure off in terms of on the ball, but what it has done is that because I'm a player up, he's going to struggle to do loads of meaningful stuff. I'll be okay.
I think the thing that you have to be careful of here is he's still got that stun player in the corner. If he can get that lineman free with a 3+2+ dodge, he's going to have a couple of receivers sitting in the back, and he's going to aim to get the pass and go for the draw. You've got enough to cover it, but
yes. Peter C says, "Why no tackler on the team? Seems like a good idea when everyone else has blodgers." Because Dark Elves, the way that you tend to play with them, I'll be okay. Yes, is that you build armor 8 blodge players, so they are really annoying to try and deal with. So there's just no space for any tackle. So there we go. He's recovered nicely now. I've took my foot off him a little bit, and he has recovered. What earth symbol is that before Das Boef? Owl All Access Pass. What's an Owl All Access Pass?
it allows you access to all parts of owls.
Is that legal?
Only if you keep it quiet.
Orange says your Jubble's first skill on blitzes, you go Mighty Blow then tackle. Typically yes, but guard is also a very, 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 very good skill, and don't overlook it.
Now, I'm not such a fan where he took that lineman laterally. I'd have liked to have seen it down the other flank just to spread it from the lineman who's on the floor. You can now deal with both of those with less players.
You know, he's left me 2 dice into 1 dice with a 3+ dodge, 3+2+ dodge.
Yeah, still on a blodger though. I think he's trying to tempt you into the backfield. Because right now, it's not easy for him to get himself through here. While that Witch Elf remains nicely sat at the back, it's just really dangerous for him trying to come through. Because he knows that that Witch is just sitting there waiting. If he's going to do anything, though, he needs to take advantage of the fact you've got 2 stuns at the moment.
Yeah, I think if you're going, you're right. If you're going to do anything, sort of now is the time.
I have a feeling he is looking to run to his right, your left, using the witches to screen.
Okay, 6 dice on a Witch Elf. We might knock it over. And we do.
We do.
And break. Excellent.
Now that probably has scuppered his plan of going off to the right. But, having said that, your other flank is now looking a little weak.
It is, but I'm just considering here that actually, because I get the 2 stuns back next turn, and one of which is a blitzer, it's probably worth letting that flank be a little weaker. Just thinking, do I move him back? Those stuns actually prove getting through the middle here make it quite challenging. What does he do? What's his re? 3, 4, 6, 7. Stand there, you get served. Stand there. No. Stand there, that's a bad idea. Three into 2. Which else not coming back? 6.
Well, if I was him, I would seize the day and use possibly the downed lineman for an assist and go in and blitz your blitzer with the tackle piece.
Yep.
And filter in behind, which looks like he's doing.
Yeah, I just don't think he can get into scoring range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. So he needs to be level at least with the lineman that's at the front. So the fact that that blitzer, he won't put the ball in front of that lineman, means he's not going to be in scoring range next turn. That's a nice non-knockdown.
Yes. Ooh, I really wouldn't have pushed him there. That I can't see any good reason for pushing him there. I suspect we're going to see the runner come up through, and then the blitzer coming in behind, throwing to the runner, and then the risky part, dodging out the guy who's currently triple marked. Ooh.
Ooh, this is big.
Yeah. See, that was the weakness of doing it the way he's done it. If he'd have done it the other way, he could have been throwing from the square back, which wouldn't have involved the go for it, and had the runner as the receiving it, and then brought the lineman across to cover the top of it. And I think he would have found it much more challenging to break that. I mean, it's certainly not terrible what he's done, but I think it could have been better. These dodges of this guy getting out of here, assuming he does it, that's going to be big.
Yes. I've made it, bastard.
Yeah.
Because that now makes that guy the blitz target, which is annoying.
Yes. And he's still kept the guy across on the flank, which is good, because now that's going to suck up some of your defenders. You have a question in the stream, Andy, regarding flowers, which I'm sure you can deal with once your turn is finished.
Yeah, I know what the flower question is.
See, now a real man would send the witch elf in to serve the ball carrier. fact that it involves a slightly tricky dodge and through tackle.
No, no thanks. Nah, not my bag, that one.
No real men here today.
No, man mode disengaged. Safety's applied. I'm very conscious of the jump up blitz witch elf in the middle, and what we're going to do about that. I think we're just going to do that. That'll be that.
Well, I mean, you absolutely have to take that skillless lineman down. I mean, I think that goes without saying. The question is more with whom, and where are you then going to put the other players?
I might have given him an out here.
Ooh, I'm kind of surprised you're pushing him that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think I've given him an out. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, Nuffle came in and saved you from a slight mistake. That's got to be demoralising for the opponent, because he would have seen that was a bit of an error, and then to have it snatched away by a red cross is hard to take. I quite like CJ Blackburn's comment there. A real man would play ogres. How do you respond to that one, Andy?
Oh dear, that's a shame. No. No ogres here. Thanks, but no. Oh, I don't want to give him the runner back, but I don't think I think I almost need to give him the runner back. He's a good enough coach to respect. That's not a good move. Let's do that. I'll eat that. So he's got basically 2 players free do stuff that doesn't involve, sorry, 3 that don't then involve naked 2+s.
However, he's only got to do a couple of naked 2+s, and he's got that ball carrier covered deep upfield.
Oh dear, Fox, I love you, but no, ogres. I've played them. I've played them once, and they just drive me to insanity. They don't suit my playstyle in the slightest, which is lol herp derp lol lol herp derp. No.
This is good play from your opponent here. It was good calculation of risk.
You did need that to work. Please don't break. Phew.
I think we might see a double go for it here. And he's going to come through with the runner.
Yeah, he's made the rolls that he needed to make.
Ooh, he didn't go where I thought he would.
No,
I thought he might have double go for it. Yeah, if he'd have gone on the diagonal, he could have gone through and made it a lot harder for you to get that witch round onto the ball carrier, because the ball carrier is in surf range here.
Yeah, and he's going to get surf ranged.
Yes, I think that actually is a mistake that he's made here.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, it's gonna be 2 1-dies, really, isn't it? You can easily.
It is, but it's 5 in 6 is fine because a push is fine, both down is fine. Any form of any move is basically fine.
I guess you've just gonna have to do 1 2+ dodge in order to get rid of the tackle zones.
Yep.
But you can do it with the dodge player.
Yep.
It's almost like you planned it.
Almost.
Now that was risky. Because he would obviously have turned wrestle off there, so you actually could have easily burnt off your reroll there, rather than just take the 1 in 36 dodge. So what we're looking at here is a 2+ to get the Witch Elf up and going because she's in tackle, and then 2 1-dies, anything that isn't skulls, preferably not both downs either, and ironically probably preferably not POW. The best results here are push, because he will probably turn off dodge if it's anything yellow. Because it's definitely better for him to not have that ball in the crowd. And not to get surfed, obviously. For those of you who don't have dodge, turn to a manual skill. This is why you have dodge on a manual skill. Oh,
Well, we got the POW. Don't really want it, but we got it. And I'm not re-rolling it, so...
No, it's one of the few times that that a POW was not actually so welcome. But the ball's in the crowd. That's good for you. Two 2+s.
Yeah, and then where the fuck do you put it?
I think the answer to that one's fairly obvious.
What, throw it away? I don't think so.
Throw it to your blitzer.
Yeah, the blitz is probably the furthest. Yeah, it depends. Where do you use the reroll is the question. Oh, not. Right, so if I haven't used the reroll, yeah, you now throw it to the blitzer.
Yeah. It is the call, throwing it to the blitzer, because even if he gets that blitzer down, recovery is not so easy. And even if he recovers, he's then not in a great position.
Oh, an inaccurate pass. Oh, that's not good.
It's about as...
That's about as bad as it could have gone. Because
Yeah.
if it had gone behind him, that's fine. If it's gone... Although, saying that... So the Witch Elf dodges out on a 2, picks it up on a 2, and walks forward. He's got to throw it over top of an elf. And it's almost certainly going to be in a 5+ intercept. I think the play here is Witch Elf dodges out, picks it up, throws it to the tackle guy who tries to score.
Yep. It's absolutely the play.
Decided to not go for it, Rex, because a singular go for it rolling a 1 wasn't going to change the pass banding, but would potentially use me a reroll, and I didn't like that idea. Okay, well, we've got chance. Oh, he's made all those so far.
Now this is the big one.
Yeah. He's got to do what he's doing. 1 in 3, I'll win the game. I've had 1 in 6 to win the game because he drops it. I've had a 1 in 3 to win the game because I intercept it. And I got 1 in 6 because he drops it. So I've had 3 chances to... Oh!
It's inaccurate.
Oh! Oh no! No! Oh, dirtbag! Wow.
Now, some might argue because the ball bounced, that really ought to be a turnover, but sadly it's not. Now, he doesn't have the blitz available here, so...
He does.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah, of course, that's the throw icon down there. Yeah,
He's only thrown it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's done that perfectly. Now, I guess he's looking, does he want to leave you 2 turns, or does he want to risk the stall? Personally, I wouldn't risk it. I'd get the touchdown on the board.
Well, he's got a slight problem because if he fails the 1 in 6, so he's made the first 2 critical fail chances. If that line elf falls over,
but he could stand up his blodger and he can 2-die your witch elf off, which is slightly safer.
1 in 9.
In fact, doesn't even need to stand up the blodger. He's just used the blitzer. But yeah, anything here involving skulls is a problem.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, will he score or will he stall?
He's got to score. Got to score. This is madness to not score.
He's thinking about stalling. Because otherwise he'd have scored by now. Unless he's chatting to you, apologising for the intervention of Nuffle that kept him alive there. To be fair, Nuffle fished you out of a mistake earlier, so I guess it's not as if it's been ludicrous dice going one way.
I think the only reason he's even considering it is because the blitzer that's lying down is stunned next to the ball carrier. If he wasn't stunned, this wouldn't even be a question.
Well, he's got 20 seconds to make his mind up.
Wow!
Ballsy. Ballsy.
Okay. Well, I don't like that play.
I'd have to concur. Because, well, that's helped. But still, and you can surf it. Well, no, you can't really afford to surf him. Because the surf would just simply allow him to score. But you're going to get multiple dice at him if that witch can negotiate her way out of a tricky corner. So go for it. 3+, 2+. and then you'll get 4 dice. Is what I'm saying.
I'm going to go a different route.
Okay. There's the gopher I was expecting. Which... Are you going to go and do a straight 4+? No, that would be madness. It's definite nail-biting time now. Ooh. That was a horrible one to... Oh, he's got the pow!
Oh, bastard. Not the square I wanted. Not the square I wanted at all.
So, both coaches are out of rerolls. We're going to be on turn 16, and the ball is hovering over Andy's end zone. This is desperate defense stuff. Oh no! That's not a good result at all.
No. No, that's a really bad result. That is a really bad result.
I'm kind of surprised you took it. I could see why, because if it had come off, you probably would have won it. But
so this is actually fairly straightforward to win now. Stand up the guy in the end zone. Stand up the tackle guy. I have to because I didn't stun the guy in the end zone. So he just needs a couple of 2+s. Arguably here you actually blitz with the bludger next to the witch elf that's stood up for him. Push onto the ball because you've got dodge as a inbuilt reroll.
Yeah, but if you push onto the ball, that ball could end up anywhere. That would be a disaster, pushing onto the ball. It could even end up in the crowd without any difficulty.
Please let it end up in the crowd.
But surely he's not going to push it on the ball. He is! This is crazy. Why would you do that?
He is, he's going for it.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Onto my witch elf, please. Out of bounds. He's got away with it. He's fucking got away with it.
But he didn't get you down. He's now made it.
No, he's got 2 dice. He's got the same. He's the same. It's 2+2+ to score.
Yeah.
He's got away with it. He's got away with it about 3 times.
Was risky.
Yeah. I'm annoyed. That was a win. He had 5 chances for that to go wrong over the last 3 turns, and not one of them went wrong. Not impressed with that at all.
Yeah.
Not impressed. That is not cool.
Well, there is still a chance, but you're going to have to play your socks off.
That's annoying. That is, I am frustrated at that. That's really annoying.
I can understand that. I guess looking back on it in the cold light of day, though, he's a good coach, and overall, 1-1 is not a terribly unfair result. if you can do the pushes here without the rerolls. He doesn't have so much of a backline. The only numbers we want to see now are 3s and 4s. I think somebody at some point did do a little table showing the various percentage chances of one-turners coming off for different teams. And from what I recall, they're all absurdly low. Apart from the Skaven with a natural one-turner, who are just absurd.
We'll see if this works. It might not. I've not practiced doing it against a split line scrimmage like this, so we'll see.
Okay, high kick, good start. And oh look, you've got a guy who finally learned how to catch. So we're getting a nice set of pushes. So far, so good. Now you can see what we were talking about earlier when Andy's opponent was trying to do the one-turner, of the advantage of having frenzy around. Though I'm not sure if Andy hasn't just knobbed this up.
No, it's fine. It's fine, I think.
No, your witch elf now can't do a decent frenzy.
She doesn't need to. It's fine.
Okay. 2 more squares Andy needs to move here. Those of you with the direct line to Nuffle, 3s and 4s, 3s and 4s. And what you're seeing here is a bit of a masterclass. Now the perfect thing on these is to actually knock the guy over on the final block, because then it makes the pass a little bit easier. But that's really cherry on top of the cake stuff. And he had done that even nicer, so he didn't actually need the knockdown for the final one. It's almost a perfect one-turner display so far. Now let's see, can he get the throw?
Come on. Oh, fuck.
Ah. Now that
We're in
did
range.
not
That's
deserve-
annoying. We were in range.
That was a very, very nice attempt there, Andy. Really, really good. Highly educational for all of us.
Frank, she did use frenzy.
The other piece of education for the rest of the stream at the end, this is why you don't burn your last reroll. As if it still had a reroll there, that was probably a touchdown.
Yep. So, oh well. Right. Do we validate that? Yes, we do. So a quick look at what that's done to us.